Hello, I'm Jody Wolfe, and you're watching Expoz on August 10, 2020, and 11:46 p.m. in Birmingham. Topic: the mess that's going on today, lawless lands. And it makes me think of way back, if you've ever watched Gunsmoke, and I did when I was very young. Marshal Dillon would go into towns that had no law in them. He was the marshal of a territory. A territory could be as big as 3 or 4 states. And he would just go to these towns and pick up the prisoners if the town would round up or group up. And if they didn't hang him, he would take them back and lock them up. And anyway, what I'm getting at is we have towns today. Seattle is one. Well, if you want to count them all, may as well count Chicago and several others, and of course Portland. They're becoming lawless. There are places where the police won't go. And I've been talking for years about no-go zones because of the Islamic Muslim communities in Minnesota, in Michigan, and places like that, where they, under Sharia law, kill their own children and get away with it. Well, we're under the lawless law of the land today in certain places where police won't go. And when they catch someone, they turn them loose without a bail or a bond, and trust them to come back. Yeah, you know that's BS, right? Why is this happening? Well, you got to look at who is allowing it to happen. Now, deep down, legally, our president can stop it. But he's been playing the nice guy. He's been choosing to leave it up to the governors and the mayors of those states and those cities. He's been the nice guy, like Patrick Swayze, when he played in that movie as a bouncer. He said, be nice until you can't be nice, and then you kick butt. Well, you have the whole Democratic Party. They're allowing this to occur for one very specific main reason. It's a scare tactic for you. And I can prove that quickly if you go back and remember the O.J. Simpson trial. They found him guilty. The jurors found him guilty. But they chose to give him a not guilty verdict because when questioned later, they said because we didn't want to see L.A. burn. Because that threat had already gone out. They'll burn L.A. to the ground if he's found guilty. And they found him not guilty. But when they were questioned years later, they all said, he was guilty. He was guilty. He killed Nicole. Well, let's move on from there. Move on to right here where we are today. These are scare tactics, guy. They're being used by the left, the liberal media that lie to you every day, especially the Democrats. If you go back and read the Constitution in the We the People, if you read in there and see the part where it says you cannot have a Democratic Party without having someone to oppose them, because this is the reason we are fleeing France and England. There's only one side. There's one party that rules. We want it equal. We want 2 sides where they can play by the rules, and they will move them around. In 1 year or one group of years, this party will be in charge, and then later, if they didn't do things right, the people had the right to vote them out and vote in someone else. This is why the Republicans came into being just to have an opponent for the Democrats. Very interesting story if you want to look it up. So today you have all these killings going on, and Chicago is up 40%. I mean, really, go to heyjackass.com and read all about Chicago. Every shooting, every wounded, every murder, everything that's happened from day one, and it gives you up to our statistics. And it's bad. But with all this going on in cities like Seattle, Portland, and several others, they're allowing this. And why? Well, number one, they're all Democratic cities, all Democrats. Number two, they think that they're using scare tactics to tell you, look, if you vote in Trump, we're going to burn America. Well, you know, there's a lot of us here that tote our guns, and we would treat that just like incoming from a foreign invader. That won't happen. Plus, Trump played the nice guy the first time around. He won't be the nice guy this next time around. I would go as far as saying Trump could call martial law in selected areas. And then he'll go in and clean house. I mean, really clean house. And no ifs, ands, and buts about their governors or their mayors. He has to bring control because it's a threat to the United States, and he is protecting the United States from outside or inside this country. And they have to do that, and he will. He'll no longer be the nice guy. He's going to play it by he's going to do what he needs to do, is just as he would in a wartime. And I applaud him for that. I welcome him to do that. I'm standing with him to do that. I'm going to vote for him because this needs to stop, because it's not going to end when a Democrat does come in, if they come in after Trump this time. They'll allow this because at that time they'll not be able to control their own people. Keep in mind, the Democrats are letting this happen. They could stop it, but they're letting it happen. BLM, Antifa, they suck. They're idiots. But they can fall just like those that they make fall. And it's going to happen. Law will come to this land, and this land will recover. But you got to vote for Trump to stop it. If you don't, the next step for this country will be, somebody like a leader not been announced, but will be the leader of the New World Order, will step in. And we will be socialist countries the next day. And within 90 days, the spoils of war, we will be acted as though we're spoils of war, will be divided up between Islam, Russia, China. They'll come in and take what they want. Mexicans, they're going to get California, Arizona, New Mexico, right on into Colorado, right on over half of Oregon. They'll get these states they lost way back when. But guys, be warned, this is coming, and Trump will stop it. He'll stop it cold, but there will be a day that comes, because we are winding down to an end here, and these things have to take place, have to come to pass, so that the end literally can come. Just not yet. Jody, Wolfe, Expoz.